Welcome to the beautiful Pacific Northwest, to Washington State, to the DirtFish Olympus Rally, round 3 of the Green APU American Rally Association. Brandon Semenuk comes here 2 from 2. Can anybody stop that Subaru steamroller? Tom Williams has come from Britain, bought his Fiesta, he's going to have a go. Pat Grushka's here for the first time in his Hyundai as well. As well as all of that, we have got 7 cars on this event with DirtFish staff involvement. It's going to be an absolute thriller. Josie Rimmer and Michelle Miller in a supercharged Subaru BRZ. Sean Edwards and Kendra Miller in a BMW 2002. Nate Tennis in a fabulous turbocharged and enormous Volvo. Jason Cochelle in a Subaru with a fantastic history. Eric Schofhauser co-driving a client from here, Neil Dana, in a Subaru BRZ. What's ahead then? We've got 12 stages, around 120 miles, 2 really complicated days of rallying. The weather here is constantly changing. Behind me were the Olympic Mountains until about 5 minutes ago. It's raining, it's sunny, it's a bit of everything. The roads here, Wildcat, Nowatzel, these are classic American stages. Some of the most complicated ones we'll see across the whole season. It's going to be a huge challenge for all the crews.
Thanks for that, David. After a very wet shakedown and recce, day 1 began with Park Expose in Shelton. Continued heavy rain didn't stop big crowds turning out to meet and greet the crews ahead of the opening day's 6 stages and 72 miles. We gathered the drivers' thoughts before the start.
Brandon, tell me, how much are you looking forward to this event?
It's in my top 3. I look forward to it every year. It's super close to home. I'm only about 4 hours just over the border from here. So yeah, it's a great event. Similar roads to what I'm used to at home, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. You can actually attack quite hard here in the wet, considering how much organic there is and how much standing water can be in the lines. But yeah, it's crazy how much speed you can actually carry down these roads even on a day like today.
Everything's up in the air. Everyone's going to be pushing hard, I think, especially Brandon. He wants to finish off this event and finish off the season very strongly, so I think he'll be pushing a little bit hard. But it's my first time doing this event, so it's hard for me to say. A lot of sketchy spots that I haven't really experienced in my rally life, and it's also sort of a marathon, so it's not like a sprint where you have these short stages and you go and go and go and ascend, but so it's 32 Ks for the first stage, which to start off with something like that, it's brutal. So we'll see how we manage. It's my first time doing something that long, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I've told everyone this is exactly like Wales, especially the Wildcat, that 30-kilometer, real technical kind of stony base, but then it goes to that really kind of mud fog in the pine forest. Yeah, you couldn't tell the difference. That's exactly what Ross, my co-driver, was saying. You couldn't tell the difference, which suits us. And everyone says there's going to be a dry day this rally, and it's been rain every single day.
Tell us a little bit about the livery.
So it's a Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights inspired livery. Amsoil logo kind of fit in with a Wonder Bread logo. So I asked them if they would approve of me doing the livery, and they said yes. So here we are. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's one of my favorite movies. It's actually the best movie ever made. So yeah, it's been fun. We released it last year, and we're running it again because the car actually stayed together last year. So
it's pretty surreal, honestly. This idea is about a year in the making, and I did not think that it would get the attention this quickly. I figured it would take a couple of events for people to realize, oh, this is actually a thing. But it got exploded on the internet real quick. So seeing all the people, obviously there's everyone checking it out and getting a lot of attention, a lot of shares on the internet. So I'm pretty happy that Rally is getting that sort of exposure, and it's from the U.S. It's hard to build popularity here for Rally. So seeing that happen is really gratifying to me, and I'm just stoked that people are really happy about it.
What I'm looking forward to today is just going to have some fun, honestly. We are kind of, I guess, healing from a pretty rough 2021 season, and even last year when we got our opportunity to run at Tour de Forest, even just a short little event, it was it was very short because we didn't make it. So today we're just looking to go have some fun, be hanging out with our friends and rallying in honor of everyone who can't rally here today.
This is my first real stage rally. I did Tour de Forest last year, but because of fire danger and everything, they cut it down to 4 stages. Then we only got to run 3, so sort of felt like a tease. So this is a first real rally. Roads are slippy. There's some scary moments. Wildcat is really
wild.
It's wild. It's a wild cat. But super excited for today's stages. We have still water at the end of the day, which is my favorite one. So, and Michelle's just been amazing. She's guiding me through everything, and yeah, the goal is to finish.
That's the talking done. It's time for the DirtFish Olympus Rally to begin.
Start 100.
For DirtFish senior instructor Sam Albert, disaster strikes at the first corner for his much talked about Ferrari engine Subaru.
Kind of little tire warm-up zone. We were just kind of pitching the car sideways, getting things ready to go. Started pulling up to the start and was feeling like the brakes were kind of stuck on, so thought maybe it was just gravel stuck between the wheels and caliper. We launched and immediately felt something was not right, and then the car started just wagging sideways right in a straightaway, and then we just felt the right rear just drop, and we were just dragging on the suspension linkage, and we're here now just past turn 1, the very first corner of the rally, and this is definitely not what I thought we would be doing right now. If anything, we thought it would be some sort of engine issue or whatever. To see this is a little heart-wrenching. I think we'll have time to be able to super rally tomorrow and actually finish, assuming we can find everything that we need. And this is a Subaru Mecca, so there's no shortage of spare parts, and everything there is pretty stock. And yeah, so we'll just get on with it and try to get what stage miles we can.
But what about those that did make it through?
Very quickly, Pat, how was the stage?
Good, very fast, fun. Good to get into the rhythm. My brakes are on fire, so I gotta go. Absolutely epic, man. This feels so good. I love this car. This road was rad. Our notes weren't that bad, and holy crap, that was so much freaking fun. That was so much freaking fun.
Sadly, stages 1 and 2 were cancelled for the majority of the crews after a fire gutted Mark Tabor's Subaru on the opening stage. Defending champion Brandon Semenek was fastest in his Subaru in the Nowatzel opener. It was a tricky opening stage.
It's a fun drive to start the day. Obviously, big long stage. Nowatzels always interesting because it's never the same every year, even though the stage name remains the same. Lots of junctions, and then you get onto different roads. But it was good fun, good grip considering the conditions, and it had a rhythm to it more than I felt in the years previous. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
There was a similarly pacey start from Leah Block in her Subaru BRZ. The Blockhouse Racing 16-year-old opened a 26-second lead in the open two-wheel drive class over second-place Lexus driver Michael Hooper. However, the question on everyone's lips: will Sam Albert be able to get his car back on the stages?
We just need the right parts. Unfortunately, our spares package was pretty limited, just as we were entirely focused on getting the motor in the car, so everything else went by the wayside, including maintenance, as you can tell. But it's really the wheel bearing exploded, and that's how the wheel lost itself on the launch. And we really just need a knuckle, a hub, and an axle to just basically bolt right back onto the car, and then we'll be good to go to restart and rejoin the rally. And I think if we get it done early enough, we'll be able to do it for fun for the rest of the day, just get some stage times, and then we'll be able to super rally tomorrow morning.
A rerun of Nowatzel and Cougar Meadow formed Saturday afternoon, but earlier stage cancellations meant this was the first taste of the soaking stages for some of our DirtFish crews.
so much fun. Like, honestly, some of the slippy stuff got cleared up. We had grip in places we didn't imagine, pushed a little harder. The notes kind of worked, so it was tons of fun.
It was so fun. I'm still learning the car, so don't quite trust it all the way yet. So still figuring it out, but having a good time.
You're sweating a bit. You've been trying quite hard.
It's hot.
Oh, it was incredible. Everything I imagined and more. Yeah, really fast, really slippery, just like work. Yeah, yeah.
What was the road like? I mean, you've had quite a few cars there. Was it quite rutted? Was it difficult to find a line?
It was very rutted, very rutted. Usually, if we have conditions like this at work, the more cars over it, the better the traction improves. Not the case today.
In his Ford Fiesta. Patrick Gruszka ran third in his Hyundai, having opened a 34.6 second gap to Jeff Seahorn's Subaru.
It was an okay stage for us. We had a little handbrake issue. It was after the couple of hairpins, but we just lost a pin in the handbrake, so it was like I was just fumbling with it for a little bit. But yeah, it was okay stage. It wasn't great. The rhythm at the end was so-so, just trying to figure out what was going on.
Definitely the rain started to pick up as we just left off. So definitely you have to get the wipers on, all the anti-mist on, and get the windscreen heated and everything. But yeah, it's a good enough stage. As I said before, these two stages are a bit of a powerhouse down the straights. So of course it's a little bit tricky just to chase Brandon a bit. But they definitely enjoyed it and really enjoyed the conditions. We're definitely closing the gap on our personal speed.
A little bit more slippy than I thought it would be, but it's raining right now, so it's more than expected. But it's a fun stage. I really like it. It's shorter, so it's definitely a little bit of a breather. So it was fun. We'll see how it goes. We're still progressing and learning the new notes and learning the roads here, so it's a lot of fun.
Sadly, there were issues for the all DirtFish crew of Josie Rimmer and Michelle Miller, who suffered a rear diff failure at the very start of stage 4.
We lost the axle. Pull all the way up here. Go up through the tape. Keep going. Yep, go through the tape. Go through the tape. Yep.
In the regional rally, Andy Miller stretched a 1 minute 26 second lead over DirtFish star Jason Cachel's Subaru. Fellow instructor Sean Edwards was impressing on his rally debut aboard a BMW 2002, borrowed from friend and colleague Mitch Williams. Another DirtFish instructor, Kendra Miller, was co-driving Sean through the Washington woods.
Yeah, started with some highs, lots of lows, some mechanical issues with the car. The guys are working on it right now. I can see some exhaust coming out of the pipe. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully we'll join up tomorrow.
What about, I mean, that first stage? Talk us through the kind of the apprehension, the nerves, the emotion, because you were kind of ready to do it first thing and then 2 stages cancelled for you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you know, it was the first stage that we started with I was the least confident about. It had some really challenging sections with holes and dips and berms, and we were really late on the road, so we had to deal with all of that, as well as the car issues. The second stage, I had a bit more confidence in the notes. We could push a little bit more, but the issues with the car persisted.
The final 2 stages of the day meant 2 passes of Stillwater separated by service. This technical 14-miler came with plenty of bridges to deal with. Patrick Gruszka was happy with his run.
I think it was one of my best stages today, to be honest with you. It felt really nice, everything flowed. I was sort of dreading these last 2 stages, but now I'm looking forward to the next one, so I hope it goes well. I think it'll be in the night, but that's fine. You know, I still haven't had much experience running in the night, so it'll be a first. It was nice to come back into the car after starting around for a little bit with all the delays, but lots of fun.
I really enjoyed that. So much going on, really twisty and technical, and suddenly the grip dropped off in the middle, really like muddy. So under the brakes, we hit the brakes, and the cars are fully locked up in the high speed, so that definitely kept us on our toes.
Believe it or not, it was probably the most technical of the day. Really slippy right in the middle. A lot of force, like canopy cover, and just obviously it's been raining on it all day, so yeah. A little slippier than the last time we'd been through there in previous years, but it was an enjoyable stage nonetheless. It was really challenging, but I liked it.
Good day so far.
Yeah.
Stages aren't, you know, nice to anybody, but we're getting through it. Yeah.
That one a little bit more technical. Did you prefer that?
Yeah, I like that one. I think I would like it if it was less wet. But yeah, it's nice and technical and tight. Lots of fun.
Second time through, will there be a bit more grip in there, do you think?
No.
Not such a good sign to see Nate the Great arriving with the hazard flashes on. Nate, problem?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're catching us at the end of the event. I think we just broke a strut chop and it's poked up through the hood right there. So
Yeah, so yeah, it's been really rough. Been a blast. Like, the car was rad, but it's just absolutely fantastic. But I mean, this stuff is especially rough this time around, and we got it in. We got it home. We're gonna drag it home, and I think we're gonna call it at this point because we're breaking everything.
Really?
Sadly for Nate, his fears were true, and he was out of the rally. Luckily, he was on hand in service to explain exactly what went wrong in the style of Marcus Grunholm.
Okay, so the problem, we go through corner, and we were going flat out, maximum attack, and then up the bomb of Timo, boom!
Due to the earlier delays, Stage 6 now became a whole new challenge, in the dark. Oh, and, you know, torrential rain, just for good measure. That was all for Saturday. DirtFish's Jason Kuchel sat first overall in limited four-wheel drive, while DirtFish instructor Eric Schaffhauser, co-driving for Neil Dana, also sat in a superb provisional limited two-wheel drive podium on Neil's rallying debut. What did Team DirtFish make of the opening day?
My high was finishing Stillwater.
Check.
It was insane. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in a rally car. Josie was fantastic and like so brave. We lost all of defrost, so we couldn't see a thing out the window. And she just trusted her notes, and we didn't set any speed records, but we stayed on the road and brought it home to finish. And I built a new experience out of it, which was super cool.
The day started pretty great. Yeah. We did, basically we did the second run of Novatzel and Cougar Meadow, kind of as planned. It's Noah's first time in the right saddle.
First time, yeah, in any rally car, really.
Yeah.
On stage.
Yeah. And then at the end of Cougar Meadow, things going great, and then we basically we're not exactly sure what's going on, but there is like some like rattle or something in the drivetrain, something. So it's probably transmission or maybe clutch flywheel combination.
Whatever it is, it's sounding quite terminal.
Yeah.
It was really rainy, really slippery. My spotlights weren't working, so I was basically driving with regular headlights for the whole time. So, but we got there.
Took nerves of steel. Had to trust the notes 100% for our first time riding notes.
Yeah, first time riding notes ever. Always used Jemba prior to this event, and so
yeah, it was an achievement.
Here's how the overall classifications look at the end of day one. In the national class, Brandon Semenek is sitting in first with Tom Williams in second place. Patrick Grushka is sitting in third, followed by Jeff Seahorn, with Jason Bailey riding out the top five. Javier Olivares is sitting in sixth, with El Barda in seventh, David Clark in 8th, Lucy Block in 9th, and Vincent Trudell rounding out the top 10. And in the regional class, Andy Miller leads with Jason Kuchel in 2nd, followed by Michael Hahn, Eric Bailey, and Niels Kreuzer in his BMW. Jeffrey Olmsted is in 6th, with Ron Binkley in 7th, Phil Clark in 8th, Chris Miller in 9th in the Ford Focus, and Daniel Sperry rounds out the top 10. Sunday morning began with a second park expose, and while it was colder, the sun was doing its best to make an appearance today. Sean Edwards swapped his BMW steering wheel for the DirtFish mic and went in hunt of people to talk to.
Going to be a big day for sure with Wildcat, arguably one of the most grueling, challenging stages of the whole ARA championship, so some slippy conditions as well to slap on top of that, but yeah, it's been good. It was just, yesterday ran a bit long, so obviously a bit of a late night trying to prepare for today, but yeah, we'll start the day off in a pretty exciting way, so looking forward to it.
We had a really good day, a really tough day for the competitors, really slippy and really challenging proper old Olympus stages, a bit rougher than normal. Leah was really working her way up to take it. She's 54 seconds in the lead after up to the last stage, and then unfortunately the rain came in and the fog, so we dropped some time, but we were safe. So today's a bit of a fight-off, and she's going to come back Leah today, big attack. And Lucy's just, she's done a really good job. She was up to 9th, and then again on the last stage just took it a bit easy. So both the girls will push today. This first stage, Wildcat's going to be interesting, so we'll see how we go.
Day one, it was a handful.
Yes.
There's a lot of like mental fatigue.
Totally.
Like your eyes are just reading the road. So the conditions changed a lot. You'd be in a really good grip section, go over crest, and then there'd be no grip. And so for us, that was challenging. But overall, we know we kept the car on the road, had no offs, nothing major happened. Tires worked good, car worked good.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Tell us about competition yesterday.
It was a wonderful day.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
We had a long night. Had a few repairs to do the car.
Tell us about the repairs.
About the repairs, we'd swapped a diff
Holy crap.
at the third service yesterday.
Wow.
And then last night, Josie was having some issues with the windshield fogging up, so we pulled the dash apart last night and repaired the blower motor.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a late night.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
But it was going to be worth it for today.
Yesterday we were behind the fire, so we missed the first couple of stages. Then we ran the Watzel, and it was amazing. Like, the car performed so well, incredible stage, really, really good fun. Did a really good time, overtook a couple of cars, which was really interesting. The stages are great, enjoying it, the conditions are great. The tires are amazing. I was worried about sliding, but like just got those super softs on and they're incredible, so really good.
I haven't driven since Oregon Trail last year, so the first stage was a little rough.
Yes.
But after that, everything started to come together and we started picking up time, and then had a really crazy night stage in the rain and fog, and that was definitely an interesting experience.
Yes, we heard that was treacherous.
Our crews wouldn't have too long to relax. Waiting for them was the opening stage of the day, Wildcat. Rally leader Semenek admitted Wildcat was one of America's best and most feared stages. Heavy rain had left the surface a confusing mix of gravel and mud, with grip levels ever changing.
Left tube open.
Wildcat's challenges were confirmed by our frontrunners, who were all struggling with grip. Jeff Seahorn managed to pass Grushka for third overall.
Jeff has obviously driven a hell of a stage in there.
I guess so. We caught an R5 on stage, so that's a whole minute. But I saw he made a couple mistakes early on. We couldn't get close enough to him. I think we did the push to pass or whatever, and they had a better second half of this stage, so they didn't really hold us up.
But you're Ricky Bobby, surely you know how to get past people.
Yeah, I needed Cal Naughton behind me. Or, if that was Cal Naughton, he would have let me slingshot and gauge, but apparently it was not Cal Naughton.
It was a lot slippier than expected in there, yeah. Really challenging to get a rhythm. Just this, there was parts of the grip, and then in a lot of places it just got terribly slippy. And the new bit's really challenging because there's lots of ruts in the road, and like the road's a bit wider, but it's very, very like greasy and kind of like wet clay on the outside. So yeah, it was tricky.
We had a clean run, which is all we could ask for in a stage like that. There's just rocks everywhere. I struggled to find a rhythm in there. I just couldn't get the car to rotate without either locking up fully. Just the whole car was squirming around. I don't know if Brandon was saying something similar. But it was really hard under the brakes just to relax into the notes and really go.
Stage 8, Dayton, and a much shorter test. Semenek enjoyed the run, while Tom Williams was able to see where he could improve just from observing Semenek's lines.
I can see the Subaru's got these big arcing lines, and I can't, just because of the setup I need to work on that I'm driving like a 50p coin. It's kind of like going, turn, so I got to work out how to get the balance, because I think it's so slippy on the front end. It's not so balanced, so I got to work there. But it's still going okay, but it could be better.
The end bit seemed a lot trickier, but it was really nice. Yeah, I like that stage. We've only really used like the first half of it in the past, so yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I don't think we managed the tires great on Wildcat. Like, maybe you want to consider a different tire choice. So they're a bit shot for that stage, but overall it was fine. Like, it was a short stage, so the tires had time to cool, and they didn't come up too much by the end, but definitely not maximum performance out of the tires on that one.
Still a little cautious, but much better stage for us. Last one was a little brutal, but we'll see second running of it how we do. I'm going to take my stuff off because it's really hot in here, but yeah, overall not bad. Is Seahorn behind us?
No.
Okay, good.
After service, it was time for a second shot at Wildcat, where the Canadian Brandon Semenek went for a harder tyre to make more time in the Vermont Run Subaru.
It was a lot more enjoyable. I think we made a better tire choice and had a much better rhythm through there. It's still slippy, but some ruts now, like there's a bit of a line to stay in. So yeah, it was good fun.
We only had half an hour service, so I could only do half the car. So we managed to make the car and the rear a little bit better, but the front was still driving its own race in the mud there. But yeah, still enjoyed it, a little bit better, and I hope the time was a bit better. But yeah, if we had a little bit more time in service, we would have changed the front end as well.
I think the start was a little bit slower, so I think we lost some time there, but the finish was a little bit faster. So I think we went 10 seconds slower than the first pass, so hopefully it's enough to keep us in the lead. We have a 30-second buffer with Patrick, so try and keep her on the podium for today, and I think we'll be happy.
However, this pass of Wildcat would spell the end for Sean and Kendra's BMW. But what happened?
Yeah, it was a good stage. We were about down half on power, still suffering from the misfire that we experienced yesterday. This has been the worst of it thus far. Loved the experience, eager to get back out here in OTR. We'll come a bit more sorted.
Josie Rimmer was safely through the stage in her supercharged Subaru BRZ, however, and she had little sympathy for the media team's effort to recover Sean's car.
It was wild. It was wild rare. The middle part is really scary. Like there's nothing. Like it feels like you're driving on four feet of snow and you're just slipping around. Yeah. But there were a few corners that I was proud of, and just we're still going real freaking slow. But it felt like survival mode.
How do you feel about seeing your teammate pulled up here?
Yeah, what is happening?
The misfire has just got worse and worse.
That breaks my heart a little bit. Sean's like the best, and he's been looking forward to this for about a year.
Yeah, but it nearly killed us. Brenton and I pushed him down the road.
That's what you're here for.
Service after stage 10, and sadly more problems for the DirtFish crew, as a small mistake on the second run through Dayton cost Jason Cachell second place in the regional standings.
Yeah, just came in a little wide on a left four down, tightens a 3, rear end went out of the traction zone and just kind of fell into a gully, rode that gully for a little bit, and then it just kind of plowed right into a dirt wall, and it was stopped, yeah. So waited there for an hour and 20, I guess, so they came and pulled me out, but they pulled me out, car started right back up, drove the car here with bent steering wheel and a bent tie rod end, and now the team is trying to put all that back together right now. We'll see if I can get back out there for final stage. This team's incredible. Yeah, I met them last year at OTR. They just came help me randomly, and they called me this year, said we'd like to crew with you if we can, and they're an amazing group of people, yeah.
Just 2 passes of the Super Special left, and just 1 for the regional runners in the DirtFish Olympus Rally 2023. But arguably, the biggest drama would be saved for the end. Whilst giving it everything in the power stage, Tom Williams lost grip under braking, ran wide, and hit a tree. The resulting 11G impact flipped the car on its roof. Thankfully, both Tom and co-driver Ross Whittock were both okay. Pat Grushka and Jeff Seahorn were on hand to get the Fiesta Rally 2 back on its wheels. Williams' departure means another comprehensive win for Subaru star Semenek. His WRX was close to 12 minutes up on the second place WRX of Seahorn.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing start to the season. Very, very happy. We know, obviously, with Travis kind of stepping out and Ken, sadly, that the competition would be a bit different this year, and it's kind of come intermittently. But this rally is just so challenging in itself, so definitely still feels really good to get through, drama-free, and just like personally, find some good pace and learn some things throughout the rally, because to find this rally it always throws some curveballs. Like obviously we've had very wet weather and now some freshly graded roads and what those conditions are like. So that's been a unique challenge for sure. And Tom was behind us showing some pretty good pace by the end of the day today. So it was fun to kind of just be, seeing the times stack up with him. But yeah, thank you. I'm really stoked and looking forward to Oregon.
Pat Grushka emerged from a couple of puncture scares with a solid 3rd place and RC2 class success. Jason Bailey and Jamie Willits were comfortable winners in limited 4-wheel drive, placing 4th overall, while the ever-impressive Leah Block took a superb open 2-wheel drive victory and 7th overall, despite following another competitor for 8 miles on the second run through Wildcat. Andy Miller and Sean Tracy won the regional event in their Subaru, with Niels Kroeser's BMW bossing limited 2-wheel drive. After losing a car on the opening stage, Kristen brought Tabor family success in limited 4-wheel drive. Eric Bailey won the open 2-wheel drive, while Sean Dora grabbed open 4-wheel drive. But what did the DirtFish team make of an incredible home rally?
It was quite the adventure to get here. And again, like going back to the whole, I'm learning, this is new, I'm a beginner at this, you know, I'm really quite content that we made it to the finish, especially with all the nonsense that happened yesterday. So in comparison to yesterday, today was smooth sailing for the most part, except for the treacherousness of Wildcat. But the Super Special was insanely fun. I said to Michelle, I was like, I wish we were running national only so that we could do it again. So that was a really great way to end the rally.
You've taken one of our valued clients, put him in a rally car and sat next to him. How's that been over the weekend?
It's been really cool to see how he's taken what he's learned at the school, especially the conditions. DirtFish is quite famous for being wet and muddy and lots of surface changes. And so that really paid off, I think, for him here. There was a few spots on Wildcat where I could see him really analyze the road and make small, minute changes.
For you, what's been the absolute highlight of the weekend?
Finishing, finishing, let alone getting a podium. Like that still surprises me because we had a 390-second penalty, I think, at one point for an O control. But the highlight was just taking the DirtFish student, getting him through, finishing the rally in itself. To me, is almost as good, if not better, than getting a podium.
It was tons of fun. I think we performed better than expected. I'm super proud of what we did as a team. Yeah, super pumped, and obviously we're coming back.
Well, it's been great to be here. The weather wasn't as welcoming as we might have liked it, and some of the stage conditions were challenging, to say the least. So, but it's fabulous to have this on our doorstep. When you think of the history of the Olympus Rally, you talk about the WRC rounds being here, the debut of certain very key cars here at Olympus. But to see it today, this weekend, and the enthusiasm. And the attendance, number of cars. We saw an excellent attendance in terms of number of cars. We've seen enthusiasm from spectators. We see queues of cars parking to get on the spectator stages. And for DirtFish, it's the culmination of what we're about. Getting people out, competing, not just enjoying the sport, but competing as well. One of our clients, Neil Dana, out there competing and successfully competing. He came through the school and obviously got the bug for rally, came out, competed in a BRZ and actually podiumed today. It was fabulous, and that's what we're about. It's part of what we're about. Not everybody who comes through the school is going to compete, but seeing that as being the pinnacle of what we're trying to achieve and encourage rallying in North America, that's what we're about.
So after 2 hard days of racing, let's look at the top 10 in the national class. Brandon Sebenek takes the overall win with Jeff Seahorn in second, followed by Patrick Grushka in third, Jason Bailey in fourth, Javier Olivares in fifth, with El Barda in sixth, Leah Block in seventh, David Clark sits in eighth, followed by Lucy Block in ninth, and the top 10 is rounded out by Michael Hooper. And in the regional class, Andy Miller takes the win in his Subaru. Michael Hahn is in second, with Eric Bailey in third in his Scion FRS. Daniel Sperry is in fourth, with Jeffrey Olmsted in fifth, with Sage Van Tilburg in sixth, Chris Miller in seventh, Niels Krozer in eighth, David Peretz in ninth, and Dave Hintz in his Ford Mustang rounds out the top 10. Congratulations to everybody who made it through a hugely challenging and typically wet Washington weekend.
We're done with round 3 of the ARA Championship. Normal services resumed here at DirtFish. It's been an amazing weekend down in Shelton on DirtFish Olympus Rally. Seemingly nobody can stop that Brandon Semenuk steamroller. Check out dirtfish.com for a review of all of our 7 crews who were involved in the event. It's been amazing. It's been fantastic. We'll see you next time in Oregon.